Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Studio Series 8603 Blur. Of course, from this 86 movie, you can see he is a futuristic convertible car hover thing. Put him off the side. Okay, yeah, we're going to look at this box, which, yep. See Blur, right sitting right there. He kind of moving fast because he always does. There's Transformers movie, Transformers, and 8 Plus, and Blur, and there's a window, you can see the figure in and Generations and Takara Tomy. And on the top here, you got Transformers the movie in a little window. On the side, you got a close-up of him and Studio Series and all that stuff in deluxe class. And on this side, you have the same artwork with the 86. And on the bottom, of course, you have the copyrights and warnings. And on the back, you have product shots and warnings and more and all that stuff. And Battle of Autobot Cities is a backdrop, and we'll get into that in the robot mode. And yeah, Blur defends Autobot City until reinforcements arrive, and he talks real fast, too. And, of course, he comes with an instruction manual, which, again, pretty solid, although I'm not sure the directions the order of directions are the greatest, but they're there. Yeah. Blur. Yep, it is the good old fast-talking, blue guy from the movie. Voiced by that guy who did the Micro Machines commercial. I don't remember his name now. But yeah, you can see he is a kind of convertible thing. You can see he's got a seat there. He's got controls kind of molded, but not really picked out with any detail. You got a little windshield thing. Got a little tiny Autobot symbol there. Little detail, dark blue and light blue. A little bit of venting here on the back. Got a little rocket thruster things. He has no wheels, so he cannot roll. You can slide, but you can't roll because, well, he's not supposed to. He's supposed to hover. So they make it so it simulates kind of the hover effect. So you can see that. It kind of simulates the hover effect and stuff. That kind of works. And you can also kind of see through the top there. I mean, yeah. He's also got his little aerial or whatever you want to call that. His fin, his go fast fin. So yeah, it's actually a pretty solid little alt mode. Works pretty well, I guess. He also has his accessories, which he's got his gun, which can tab in. It just tabs in right here like that. And he got this other piece, which I guess it's I can't remember what it is. It's a little welding torch, I believe. Yeah, from the Junkion scene. And that can tab in like this. Store them like that. That works. It's a little, well, let's see. It's not very inconspicuous, but hey, I guess it works. Yeah, I prefer not to have it on there because I think it looks a little silly, but yeah. And just for comparison's sake, here he is with the Titans Return Blur, which, well, kind of similar, not surprisingly. I mean, you can see that. Yeah, they're very similar in length and size and everything. I believe the new Blur is a bit wider, maybe. Yeah, very, very, very similar. The only thing is color, which, again, the Takara version took care of that, but, this one can roll, so that. It actually has a little dude in it. Yeah, they're very similar in look and stuff, and actually engineering, weird enough. I'm not saying this is a remold or anything, but it's not surprising that you're kind of getting to the point of when you're going for screen accuracy to an old design, eventually you're going to start, hitting the same notes over and over again. Yeah, that's just a comparison right there between the two. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started transforming this guy. First thing I like to do there is, well, I'd like to take these bits and what I do is kind of roll them like this to untab them because they're tabbed here and tabbed here in a weird way, such it's kind of difficult to get them undone very easily. So I just kind of do that, and then on this little armature, just kind of move them out like that. Same thing on this side, kind of get it untabbed. Again, I like to roll it a little bit and then move that on that armature. Down here, move this up a bit. Down here, what I like to do is then take these feet, untab them from the bottom because they're tabbed into these little blue things, and then these rotate up. These pieces rotate up, and they tab into the side right here. Like so. Like that. Same thing on this side. Untab and then retab up here. And this lets you bring these side bits, they let you bring them up and forward and click into place. Like that. And we can leave that for now. Gonna work on the legs. So there you want to take the legs here and you want to, back here you want to go ahead and split these open like that, and like that. You can uncurl that, split them apart from each other, take the fin, rotate it inside the leg, bring this in, and tab it in, like that, and bring the foot down. Same thing, that minus the fin, bring it in, tab it, bring the foot down. And there you go. That's the lower half done. From there, you want to go ahead and take this piece and just go ahead and fold that up. And then for now, it's probably going to fold up on its own anyway. Up here, you want to go ahead. These, you want to rotate them. They have to rotate a very specific way. If you try to rotate them the other way, it doesn't work. So they have to rotate inward. This hinge has to be inward. Regardless of which way you're rotating, going back and forth, you got to rotate that inward. Then just unfold that and probably close this back up because that little door is there just to facilitate its fist. And kind of tab it in. It doesn't tab in super solid. It just kind of rests in a groove, and you bring that down. That's his arm. Same thing. Rotate this in. Oop. So rotate that lower part. Rotate that around. Bring this down. Bring the arm down. There you go. And you got to lift this part. You got to lift this down, move this down a little bit, so then you can rotate this chest piece around right there. Rotate that around, and then bring that up, back around, and collapse this in. It'll click into place. And there you go. There's Blurr. And his robot mode. And again, very close to screen accurate robot mode. Very close. They had to take some liberties thanks to things like the laws of physics, but that doesn't stop people from complaining around, does it? Anyway, yeah, you can see he's still got that clear chest piece, and it looks really good for the most part. He's got this little rocket shoulders, I guess. He's got dark blue and light blue all over. He's got the white down here, and he's got his face, which yeah, the thing about the face, he's he's got that, he's got a bit of a smile. He's got those blue eyes. He's got the little yellow crest thing, but he's also got kind of a chin. There's been a bit of a point of contention. His chin is kind of weird. It's not that bad the way people were going on. I thought the chin would be sticking out like way out here, but yeah, it's kind of weird looking. It doesn't look quite right, I feel, and I think a lot of people agree with that. It doesn't look quite right. I don't think it's as bad as many people say it is, but it's definitely not quite right. Another thing people complain about is these kind of hanging out back here. Remember that was a big thing, was yeah, these bits hanging out just like this, and like technically that's accurate, at least placement wise. These do, he does, if you look at the old animation stuff, he does have these little things just hanging out on his forearms, but they're small. They shrink down in the animation, but they can't really do that. That doesn't work. Again, not without making it, well, say masterpiece type of engineering, which kind of gets a little spendy, which you can't really do when you're selling it for $20. So it's kind of one of those compromises you just have to live with type things, because physics get in the way. But anyway, you can hold his gun like that, looks good. Also, mine's a little loose, but it's kind of just plain white. It's a decent looking gun, but yeah, it's kind of, if I recall, this is more or less the gun he was using during the Battle of Autobot City, when he was sitting there yammering about how Decepticons in the air, Decepticons there. Nowhere that, where does leave us? Nowhere, that's where. That sort of thing. You also got this from when they were trying to repair the shuttle on the planet of Junkion. It just slips over his hand, looks, so that looks right. It's a little bulging torch, that sort of thing. Works well. So there's that. Yeah. You can have those. They don't really store anywhere. And yeah, this, unlike the original G1 toy, this does not, yeah, there's nothing, this doesn't, you can't really, you can pull this off technically because it's just a simple friction hinge, but he doesn't have any pegs or anything, so he can't hold it like he did with the old G1 toy, unless you kind of, maybe you clip that over the arm? I wonder. I haven't tried this yet. I'm curious. Can this clip over the arm at all? No. Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to work. Nope. Okay, yeah. Can't really do that. So that's the thing. I tried. But yeah. So no shield. If you're a fan of that from the G1 toy, that's not a thing here. Or the Titans Return version. Yeah, it's actually a pretty solid little robot. Articulation though, his head is on a ball joint, although it's kind of, I think it's a little deep seated, but yeah, he's got left and right. He's got a little bit of up and down, mostly down, a little tiny bit of waggle, although mine, I think there's some mold flash or something, because it wants to always snap to slightly off to the side, but that's not might just be mine has that issue. I'm not sure that's a common one. Shoulders though, can go all the way around, they go outward. It's kind of an interesting design, but they do go outward. Got a bicep right there, right above the elbow. It's got a 90-degree bend at the elbow as well. Yeah, so the bicep's kind of weird because this piece can get in the way a little bit, but not horribly so. It depends on what you're trying to do. And he does technically have wrist swivels, but this does unfortunately bring the thing with it, and you can only really swivel outward because the hinge here on this thing gets in the way of going outward because of the molding for the mushroom pig. So unfortunately, yeah, his wrists can only swivel outward, but they are there. He does have a waist swivel, which pretty much doesn't, it kind of bangs into this, but this gets out of the way pretty easily. This little thing. Yeah, so it does swivel around. You got hips, which go forward all the way, go back, well, all the way, although it kind of may have to go a little out to get past this thing. Outward this far. Got a thigh swivel, pretty good thigh swivel. Knees, 90 degrees. And feet, which can go forward a bit. They can do that. They can go forward, and they can go, tilt that much. So, again, pretty good, solid set of posability on this, well, deluxe guy. There we go. Right, he also has, of course, his backdrop. Again, a bit, he's shooting at Decepticons everywhere. And, you can see that it's got the 86 logos and everything. And you just kind of stand on there. Do that if you want. Again, if you do the backdrops, I don't because they just kind of take up too much space. But if you do, there's an option. Yep, there's that. Just again, go here comparison with Titan's Return Blurr. Actually, roughly the same height, give or take a bit. He might be a little short, I think. Very different color scheme, but still recognizably Blurr. Again, also very similar transformations, but probably again not so much shared engineering, so much as you're trying to hit the same note target. So of course you're going to hit the same notes at the same time. So there you go. Here he is next to, I guess, Cup and Hot Rod, which were back in the day the deluxe Autobot Wave Mates back in '86. Again, looks good with him. Works real well there. Here he's with Jazz, who's again kind of shorter. And of course, as usual, Earthrise Optimus, who is noticeably taller, which he should be, because it's Earthrise Optimus. So yeah, I think this is a good one. He's not. I don't think he's good as they say Cup, but I think he's also better than Jazz. Who Jazz is also really good. So he's a pretty good, solid one. It depends on a lot of stuff. Like I don't know. It depends. Does these bother you? Does the does the bits of the car hanging off the arms bother you? Does the chin bother you? I don't know. It seems pretty solid. The transformation's pretty clever. It looks pretty accurate to the movie. It's just overall very solid toy. The only thing I can think of is maybe if you just don't like the movie look or you just don't like Blurr, which case, okay, pass on this. Then I just think he's a really good toy. Again, the SS86 line has been largely hit after hit after hit for me. The only one being just I got a bad QC issue, and that's not the toy's problem itself. It's just I need to get a new one before I can properly review it, I feel. But yeah, that's Blurr. I hope you found this review informative or entertaining. I hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitter. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. And check out the Coffee and Patreon if you want to support the channel. Yep. And I'll see you next time with another video review.